Yeah. Oh. Yeah. Drip, 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 drip. Flowing water, no ice. I don't never check the price. I've been living real nice. Gamble on me with the dice. Drip, 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 drip. Flowing water, no ice. I don't never check the price. I've been living real nice. Gamble on me with the dice. I get the bag and maneuver. I've been the maneuver. Riding around in your town and I promise I never whip, I'm in the Uber. Ice on my vein like a jeweler. Talking that bush and medulla. Drive me through mud, but I promise I make it. I told them I came from the sewer. Never been one for the rumors. Ballin' out like I'm a sooner. But when I fire a Kuma, hitting your heart like a tumor. First time I listened to Weezy, I felt like a Martian, they talking no lunar. Only gon' focus on money if it ain't about it, I ain't with the humor. Never time for the lip, every song drop, yeah, you know it real. Gotta watch what you say, run the wrong crowd, you can get clear. Know the boy when the shit, yeah. Do my dance to the whip. Stack on him, got a grip. Back on him with the drip. Drip, 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 drip. Flowing water, no ice. I don't never check the price. I've been living real nice. Gamble on me with the dice. Drip, 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 drip. Flowing water, no ice. I don't never check the price. I've been living real nice. Gamble on me with the dice. Yeah, everything on go mode. Me and my dogs on front line. 3 dubs like Kenny said, I'm in Hollywood for the sunshine. Strict rules when you round us, ain't no funny biz like a punchline. First year did a $250,000 on the spins and I'm still unsigned. Tight gears, how the boy grind. Straight dimes, I don't do nines. No pen, how I do rhymes. Is you deaf boy, I don't do signs. No weight, I don't do lines. Give me 2 years, then I'm gon' shine. Big stakes, how the boy down. When I drop rhymes, then I blow mines. Everything on my time. New breed on my own kind. Can't get what you can't see. Keep the vision clear, I don't go blind. Realer one, yeah, you won't find. Hate on me, yeah, I don't mind. Never needed no cosign. Put the whole game on my whole spine. Drip, 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 drip. Flowing water, no ice. I don't never check the price. I've been living real nice. Gamble on me with the dice. Drip, 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 drip. Flowing water, no ice. I don't never check the price. I've been living real nice. Gamble on me with the dice.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome to the stream today. Hope you all enjoyed the new intro. I see T Cherry made a comment on it. Who made this graphic with the crying face? You know, is it professional? No. Is it better than what we had? Probably. If you got any feedback, let us know. But it's time. I'm super excited for this tier list. So what we have is we have all 38 players who are currently 100-1 or better on Superbook. It's possible these odds have changed. I made this tier list, the template for it, at around 1 o'clock today. It's about 5 hours ago. Here is the full list of players up for discussion. And for all 38 of these players, we are going to consider the value to bet on them for NFL MVP and place them into one of 5 tiers. So the 5 tiers that we have today are the S tier. This is the top of the line whale play, 100-unit max, super smash, throw in all your lock emojis, your triumph emojis. This is those plays. That's the S tier. In the A tier, we have bets that might not be quite that good, but that are still good value bets to make. They're just not like the smash plays. The B tier, we have bets that maybe if you're a fan of somebody and you want to have a little bit of a rooting interest in them, it's not like a terrible value, but it's not a great value either. That's the kind of thing I'm thinking for B tier. C tier is going to be the bets that don't really have any value at all. And then the last tier, burning your money, is a better value tier. This is going to be the ones that you should just not bet on at all. If you bet on this, you've already lost. You lost when you placed the bet.
Yeah, you're going into the NFL season already down, more or less.
Yeah, and let us know also what you guys think. For all these players, or for some of them, if you guys have any opinions as far as where you think they should be, if you think that we're off because we're too low, if you think we're off because we're too high, let us know. So we're going through these guys alphabetically. So let's start it off with Josh Allen. So Josh Allen, NFL MVP, runner-up a year ago. He finished number 2 behind Aaron Rodgers, and he's coming in at 12-1.
12-1. That's a pretty. Man, I'm thinking A or B.
Yeah, I agree. I'm like a broken record at this point, how much of a fan of Josh Allen I am. But I think at 12-1, it's still a good price. It's like the second or third most expensive guy on the board. Pat Mahomes, I think, has the best odds at 9-2, which is like a plus 450. Allen at plus 1200 is right up there. That being said, though, I think he checks all the boxes. I think there's nothing to dislike about Josh Allen. So I'm down for an A tier. I'm down for a B tier. Do you have a preference between them?
We can move it either way if we need to, but I'm thinking B just from the standpoint it's 12-1.
Yeah. So what would you price Allen at if you were the book, or if you're trying to accurately price it?
Or you should just say what it should be.
Yeah. Well, what do you think it should be?
15-1.
You think 15-1? Okay, I'm down for a B tier for Josh Allen.
Yeah, and of course, guys, this is based on perceived value, because I think he would 100% be A if it was just, purely good quarterbacks or bad, So I'll keep that in mind. This is based on their value.
Yeah, exactly. All of this is based on how good or bad the value is in the bet, not on just straight up how likely we think they are to win the MVP.
Yep.
So number 2, we have 3-time NFL MVP Tom Brady. Tom Brady comes in at 14-1.
I'm thinking B-C range.
Yeah, I was thinking a C for Brady here. If you just do a straight comparison between Tom Brady and Josh Allen, I feel like Josh Allen has to be the better value play between the two, and the price is so similar. So when did Brady win last? Brady won last in 2017. But I mean, he's old.
Yeah, he'd be the oldest MVP ever. I'm pretty sure about that.
Mm-hmm. So I mean, the Bucs won the Super Bowl last year, but Brady in the regular season looked slow. I don't think that he's going to go like all out the whole regular season. I think that they're really going to look to not necessarily rest him completely when they can, but not put him in situations where he takes a beating.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and they might be in a position where he doesn't need to play down the stretch either, really.
Mm-hmm.
They have a pretty easy schedule, so yeah, I would say I'd go with C.
Yeah, I think I'm going to put Tom Brady at 14-1 in the C tier. Velocity says Jalen Hurts got to be S or A tier. I have some interesting thoughts with Jalen Hurts. You can see him down in the second row, sitting at 40-1. So you know who's not 40-1 though? Is Teddy Bridgewater. So Teddy Bridgewater possibly not starting at quarterback this year for the Denver Broncos. 100-1 to win the MVP.
I think burning your money is a better value.
Yeah, I mean you're the Broncos fan. You're the one who's in tune with all this stuff. I mean Bridgewater, he did not look good last year. He looked like a somewhat capable game manager and nothing more. And even if he gets the starting gig in Denver, he's not going to be tasked with balling out and winning games. If they win, it's not going to be because of Bridgewater. It's going to be despite Bridgewater, or despite whoever the quarterback is, really, as long as they don't bring anybody else in. So I think, looking in the 100-1 tier, Bridgewater's got to be one of the worst value plays there. He doesn't fit in relative to the rest of those guys, I would say.
Yeah, and he would have to probably start, and he's not even the starter as of today. So, yeah,
Moving on. So next up we have Joe Burrow, last year's number 1 overall pick at 80-1. So I have some stats here that I want to bring up. I've had these ready the whole time. Didn't really know when to take a step back and go into them. But I have the last 20 NFL MVPs, kind of who they are, what they did, how the teams did. And I want to run through some of this before we talk about Burrow. And this is also going to be relevant with Hurts, like Velocity was alluding to. So the last 20 NFL MVPs, of course, 16 quarterbacks, 4 running backs. The only 4 running backs that have won was Adrian Peterson back in 2012, Sean Alexander and LaDainian Tomlinson going back-to-back in 05 and 06, and then Marshall Faulk back in 2000. The other 16 have all been quarterbacks. Of the quarterbacks, there's a kind of interesting age distribution for them. So 2 of the last 3 MVPs that we've had, Patrick Mahomes and Lamar Jackson, were second-year quarterbacks. So they had a kind of, actually, they were both more or less on the bench at the start of the year for sure, in Jackson's case and in Mahomes' case. Mahomes pretty much the whole season. Jackson came off the bench in the second half of the year. But not guys who really shined in that first year and then exploded in the second year, lit the world on fire, and won the MVP. Aside from those 2, it's pretty much all older quarterbacks. So besides those 2, the next youngest was Cam Newton, who won in his 5th year when he won the MVP. Aside from that, you're looking at Peyton Manning won his first in year 6, and then a bunch of year 7 guys in Aaron Rodgers, in some other guys. Hold on, my dog is acting up. I might have to step away for a bit in the middle of the stream and take her out. I tried to do that at the beginning, and she wasn't cooperating. Give me 1 second.
I'll kind of continue with what you were going with, but the only thing though is, Joe Burrow's coming off an injury, so
yeah. So I don't know that Burrow's the best value of those second-year quarterbacks.
But he's 100-1 though.
Yeah, well, at 80-1.
Oh, 80-1.
Yeah, I still think if you played next year 80 times, Joe Burrow is quite possibly MVP in one of those 80 runs through.
But here's the issue, though. The Bengals are projected to win 6.5 games. So
yeah, that's the other thing. That's the next thing that I was going to get to, actually.
Yeah.
So that's not good. So over those last 20 years, MVPs, their teams have won 10 games twice, and that's the fewest wins an MVP's gotten in the last 20 years, and both of those were running back wins. Rich Gannon, back in 2002, the only player to win MVP with 11 wins. All the other ones, 12 or more. And the average for the quarterbacks is about 13.5 wins per year. The other thing that is, I think, quite interesting, 15 of the last 20 MVPs have finished on the highest scoring offense in the league. The only 5 MVPs in the last 20 years that were not on the highest scoring offense in the league were, again, Rich Gannon in 2002, who was on the second highest scoring offense in the league. Peyton Manning, 3 different times, on the second, on the 7th, and on the 13th highest scoring offenses in the league. Adrian Peterson in 2012 on the 14th highest scoring offense in the league, and then Tom Brady in his most recent one on the second highest scoring offense in the league. So I guess it's 14 out of 20. But on the number one scoring offense in the league.
So what you're saying is C for Burrow.
I think Burrow's in that kind of B to C tier, I would say.
The only reason I'm going with C is not so much a lack of his talent, but it's a lack of his team.
Yeah, the team around him, not a lot of talent. It's also a really tough division. You have three pretty good teams in that. The Ravens and the Browns, I think, are quite likely to both make the playoffs. And the Steelers haven't finished below 500 in like 2 decades.
Yeah.
So I'm happy to put Burrow at a C. I also would be happy to reconsider this in a little bit and move him up to a B, because it is 80-1.
It is. But yeah, I think C is good for now, and then we can kind of look at that again.
Mm-hmm. So next up we have Derek Carr at 60-1.
I'm going to keep this simple. I'm going to say C.
Yeah, I agree. I think that Derek Carr at 60-1 is a pretty easy C tier. I don't think that Oakland is very likely to fit many, if any, of the criteria that past MVP winners' teams have fit. It's not like a new offense. I don't think that there's really a whole lot of opportunity for Carr to show us something that we haven't seen from him before.
Yeah.
I think 60-1 is a pretty fair price. It's not burning your money. I wouldn't bet it either.
Yeah, I agree there.
Next up, we have Kirk Cousins at 60-1.
60-1. I could see this being a B, actually.
I was thinking the same thing. I think that this is a...
You can't compare Carr and him on that same level, because I actually think that they could make the playoffs. They have a better shot to make the playoffs than the Raiders, so.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
Yeah, I think that this might have changed recently, but I think that the Vikings are now betting favorites for their division.
They were until Aaron Rodgers.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so I guess within the last couple days, they're now not the betting favorite. But yeah, I think this Vikings team is solid. He's got the offensive game planning a lot of the time to allow him to put up yards. It's a good team. He's going to pick up wins. It's just a matter of, can he take that next step? And I think he has a non-zero chance to do that. I like the B tier for Cousins. I was thinking the same thing. Next up, we have Sam Darnold at 100-1.
Surprisingly, I'm not going to go with a burn your money.
No, I don't think it's a burning your money play. I mean, he's more or less locked in as the starting quarterback for the Panthers this year. Mm-hmm. Is it a great situation for him? No. Is it a
Jets?
Yeah, is it better than the Jets? Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I'll give him a C.
Yeah, I think Darnold is a C as well.
You shouldn't be running to go bet that, but
That's what a C tier is, right?
yeah, exactly.
So next up is Aaron Donald at 100-1.
So Nick, tell me, when's the last time a defensive player has won this award?
Not anytime recently.
Yeah, I don't think we were alive.
No, I for sure was not alive.
That's supposed to mean.
It means that you're older than me,
Yeah, that's true.
old man.
Lawrence Taylor. That was
Yeah.
like 87. I wasn't actually alive, but having said that, though, man, I don't know, because I'm on the fence between a C and burn your money, but I don't know. What are your thoughts?
I think if Donald were to have won an MVP, it probably would have already happened. I mean, he's had some of the most dominant seasons that a defensive player has ever had. And I don't know that he's ever even gotten a vote.
He hasn't even been top 10.
So I'd be okay with a C. Maybe we can come back and reconsider, put the best defensive player on the board up to the C. But I'm kind of inclined to throw all of the defensive players in the burning your money.
Yeah, that's actually kind of a good point. I mean, should we just do that right now? I'm trying to think if there's one that I'm like, I want to give him a little bit of a shot and give him a C, but...
Well, I mean, so also think of it this way, right? There's been, 2 of them that have won in 50 years?
Yeah.
So just a defensive player winning MVP, full stop, should be like 25 to 1. And probably even worse. It should probably be 40, 50, 60, maybe even 100 to 1 on its own as a bet. And then picking an individual defensive player beyond that.
Yeah, that's tough. And on top of that, Nick, I mean, the way the game has changed, we definitely prefer more offense, and I think the game's called that way, so I think it's even tougher in today's game for a defensive player. Like, he would have to have 5 touchdowns minimum. He would have to have like 20 interceptions. It would have to be something insane, which is just so unlikely.
Yeah, I think there's no shot.
Like, even if Aaron Donald breaks the sack record,
he gets votes.
He'll get some votes, but that is the minimum barrier to be even in the conversation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, so J.J. Watt finished runner-up a few years ago, and that was also like one of the most dominant seasons ever, because he had the sacks, he has all of the pass deflections, he scored a couple offensive touchdowns that year, and that's still not enough for a defensive player to win MVP.
Yeah.
And now in a 17-game season, with the passing numbers are just going to be that much higher, you're probably going to see a quarterback with 5,000 yards and 50 touchdowns this year. Mm-hmm. How does that not win MVP?
Yeah. That's a good point.
So next up, we have Justin Fields at 100 to 1. And one final stat from all of the last 20 years worth of MVP voting. There have been 2 rookies who have ever received votes for MVP, or at least in the last 20 years. They were both in the same year, actually, and they both played for the same team. It was Dak and Zeke.
Wow.
Back in 2016. Zeke finished 4th when he led the league in rushing as a rookie, and Dak finished 6th when he led the Cowboys to being good, or decent at least. Mm-hmm. That being said, is Justin Fields going to be that guy to break that curse? I doubt it.
But actually, this is funny. In my mind, I'm like, Justin Fields starts game 1, week 1, but apparently he might not even start till week 5. Like, from the standpoint of like Andy Dalton and then having him play, and then they throw him in.
Mm-hmm.
So for that, I'm kind of thinking burning your money.
I agree. I think Justin Fields is a burning your money play for MVP.
I would give him a C if he was like the 100% starter, but that's not the case.
I agree. I agree with that.
Yeah. There'll be another guy where I think that fits the criteria.
Mm-hmm. So next up we have Ryan Fitzpatrick, also at 100 to 1.
I gotta go with burning your money, but I love Fitzpatrick.
Yeah, I love Ryan Fitzpatrick. This is no disrespect to him as a player or as a human being, but there's no shot.
Ryan Fitzpatrick would be a great like brand ambassador for Capwise.
Mm-hmm. We'd both have to grow our beards out.
Yeah, I'll be like, you're a Harvard-educated guy. You know, we like numbers and data. Come work with us.
Mm-hmm. We have to get all of the athletes with huge beards. We get Ryan Fitzpatrick from the NFL. We get like Joe Thornton from the NHL. Probably can't get James Harden.
Yeah.
And then in the MLB, are there any players with big beards these days? Charlie Blackmon.
There's a few, but not
They're not Fitzpatrick tier. They're not Joe Thornton tier beards. I don't think any of those exist in baseball right now, or in basketball for that matter. So next up we have Jimmy Garoppolo at 100 to 1. Larry, you're always late. Just kidding. Better late than never. So quick recap for Larry. 5 tiers on the tier list. S tier, and recap for anybody who missed it at the beginning. So S tier is top of the line bets. These are your 100 unit whale play, mortgage the wife, divorce the house type plays. A tier are not quite that level, but still probably areas that are worth to sprinkle on. B tier is an area with a little bit of value. If you particularly like a guy, you want to root for him and want to have a little action. You maybe have him on your fantasy football team or something and want a monetary incentive to root along. It's not like a terrible value play, not the top of the line bets, but also not like a terrible spot to go in on. C tier, we're looking at line that is maybe kind of where it should be. Maybe it's a little bit too high. Not a lot of value, but also not a laughably bad bet if you're high on a guy. And then the burning your money is a better value tier. Is pretty self-explanatory. These are guys that basically have no shot. Jimmy Garoppolo. Any thoughts on him, Ben? I think this is him and Trey Lance. I guess probably not Trey Lance, but him.
And his number is
100 to 1.
I'm kind of thinking C plus.
You're thinking C plus?
I know we don't have that basically says in between C and B.
Yeah,
It's a good number, I feel like.
Yeah.
Is Trey Lance going to take over? I don't know.
I mean, so Jimmy Garoppolo's only ever had one season where he's played in more than 6 games.
I know, he's always hurt. Or just
and he's never played at an MVP level, even in a smaller sample size. I mean, can he make that next step? Maybe.
Yeah, and then the other thing too is he's not going to put up those crazy numbers because that's not the offense.
Yeah, I think I agree. In this system, again, we're looking at 14 of the last 20 MVPs have played on the highest scoring offense in the league.
Yeah.
And 4 more of them have been on the second highest. Or 3 more have been on the second highest. And the other 3 were Peyton Manning. So I think Garoppolo probably high C. I agree, but I think a C. Unless you want to put him in B.
No, I think we should leave him at C.
Yeah, so I do think he is in that sweet spot for quarterbacks when they win their MVPs. In that year 9 to 10 range, so Garoppolo is entering, as weird as it sounds to say, I guess he's going into his 8th season in the league. But that 8, 9, 10th year for quarterbacks is the sweet spot. Again, to reiterate, you saw Peyton Manning has won MVPs there. Tom Brady has won MVPs in that range. Matt Ryan won his in year 9. Aaron Rodgers won his at 7 and 10 before this past year. Even all 4 running backs were year 6 and 7. So we can talk about that when running backs come up. I don't think we've had a running back yet, which is kind of strange. But I could see Garoppolo definitely on the higher end of the C tier, but I don't think I like him enough to put him into a B.
Yeah.
So speaking of running backs, Derrick Henry at 80 to 1. So again, like I was just saying, the 4 running backs that have won the MVP, Adrian Peterson, when he won it, was in his 6th year in the league. LaDainian Tomlinson, when he won his MVP, was in his 6th year. in the league. Sean Alexander, when he won his MVP, was in his 6th year in the league. Marshall Faulk was in his 7th, so it didn't quite fit the trend. I was super excited when I was looking at all this.
You're counting. You're like 1, 2.
Yeah, but guess who is in their 6th year in the league?
Derrick Henry.
Derrick Henry.
So regardless of that 6-7 year thing, whatever, I was gonna go with B.
Yeah, I think Henry is a high B.
Yeah, and this is why I don't think he's an A. Running backs are just so susceptible to injury, right?
Yeah, I think that so the thing that scares me about Henry is he already had one of the best rushing seasons of recent history and did not win the MVP. Like he's got to do something that's an order of magnitude better than that. Like not just a little better, but he's got to be a lot better than that. And I don't know how much room there is to improve on that. I do think he's probably my favorite running back play.
Yeah.
Just full stop. There's actually another guy who's not on here, who I would throw into that category also. And that's actually Zeke, who's I think at 300 to 1 right now. Also in his 6th year in that sweet spot. But he's not on our list. Yeah, I think Henry, high B. And yeah, I agree with Larry. Not a two-way running back. I think if he were to add that to his game, which would be kind of strange considering his physical makeup, but that would be the kind of thing to set him over the top. So next up, Justin Herbert, 20 to 1.
You start this.
So Justin Herbert is really good.
Yes.
I don't know that I can justify putting Justin Herbert 20 to 1 higher than Josh Allen 12 to 1. So I want to go B for Herbert, but I think again it's like a high B. And we might have to reconsider some of these guys. Like we might have to bump up a couple guys to A because the A tier is completely empty right now.
Yeah, I'm fine with the B for now, but God, like you said, he's really good. And there were basically 3 games that were lost because of Anthony Lynn last year. So the numbers from last year are a little misleading on, I guess, the Chargers' record. But yeah, I think we could go with B.
Yeah, I agree. I think a B is fine here. I think the Chargers, and they also have that upside as an offense, I think, to really put together, again, highest scoring offense in the league. I think that's within the range of possibilities for the Chargers.
Yeah.
Next up, Taysom Hill at 100 to 1.
I'm going with burn your money.
Burn your money. Yeah, I'm kind of between burning your money and a C. I think that we have enough evidence to say that Taysom Hill is just not a good starting quarterback.
Yeah.
He's not going to put up big numbers in a full-time role. So I'm fine with burning your money for Taysom Hill. Next up, we have Jalen Hurts at 40 to 1. I have no idea if velocity is still here. I was talking about Jalen Hurts earlier, said Jalen Hurts got to be S tier or A tier, and I totally agree.
So let's hear why.
Okay, so let's hear why. So, 2 of the last 3 MVPs, Patrick Mahomes and Lamar Jackson. What did they do in year 1? Mahomes sat the whole time. And then year 2 came out, balled out, won the MVP. Lamar Jackson sat behind Joe Flacco for the first half of the year in year 1, started 9 games. He looked electric. But it's obviously like not enough time to win any awards. And then he really turned it up to the next level in year 2. Jalen Hurts, at his best, was so good.
Well, I will say that you are a little higher on Jalen Hurts than I am. But I can't go with S on this one.
Yeah, I don't think Jalen Hurts is quite an S tier bet at 40-1. But I will say, I think he's the guy who is the most likely of all these second-year quarterbacks to make that same second-level gear turn that Lamar Jackson and Patrick Mahomes did. And that's such a story, too, right? Like a quarterback in Philadelphia lighting the world on fire. That's I mean, he's got like the story, he's got the personality.
That is true.
Do I think it happens 1 out of 40 times? For sure. He's not my favorite quarterback of the second-year class. But I think he's got that upside that, like, if everything turns out right for Hurts, he can easily put up MVP-type numbers.
So you're thinking A.
I'm thinking A for Jalen Hurts.
I'm thinking B.
I'm really thinking A for Jalen Hurts. So why B at 40-1?
So yeah, like you said, I mean, you rattled off good reasons, and I do agree with those, but the eye test for me, I just don't see him being elite next year. I don't think he's gonna suck.
Yeah, but I mean that's the thing though, is that it's that uncertainty I think plays into his favor. It pushes the line down. Right?
Yeah,
it's not like we're talking a 12-1 or a 20-1. We're talking 40-1.
Yeah. I know.
You need to hit this 1 out of every 40 times to break even.
I'm still stuck on B. I would rather put Justin Herbert in A.
But I don't know that Herbert has that next gear. Right? I in the same way that Hurts does, right? Like, we know that Herbert is really good. And we know that Anthony Lynn cost the team some games. But I think that for twice the price, I think Hurts is a better value than Herbert.
I just don't know if the Eagles are going to make the playoffs.
Yeah, but is it totally within the realm of possibility that...
It is, yeah. It's not like a Bengals situation.
Yeah. Like, you got the Giants in there, you got the Cowboys in there, and you got the football team in there. Like, there's not a threatening team, right? So if you look at Patrick Mahomes going into his second season at 40-1, you would have laughed at it. If you look at Lamar Jackson, you would have laughed at it. So I think that Hurts has that same type of under the radar, blow everybody away type of potential. That's like exactly what you're looking for in a dark horse. Like, what would you rather see in a 40-1 bet? I'm curious.
Well, the Eagles are set to win 6.5 games.
Well, they're not set to win 6.5 games. That's just where the number is.
By Vegas. So even if they went to 9, that's still, if they exceeded by almost 3 wins, that still doesn't get them in the playoffs every time.
No. And again, like, you need 12 plus wins realistically.
Yeah. Well, what do you mean?
The only quarterback in the last 20 years to win MVP with less than 12 wins was Rich Gannon.
Oh yeah, that's right. You're kind of talking yourself into the B.
Yeah, but no, I'm not. I think if we're looking at a higher price, then yeah. But at 40 to 1, do the Eagles win 12 games 1 out of 40 times? I'd say so.
That's tough. 6.5.
I think pretty almost every team in the league would win 12 games 1 out of 40 times. I would say probably
But then that
3/4 of the league would do that.
I'm still going with B.
Okay. I'm on a hard disagree. I'm like A to S for Hurts.
We're gonna get a lot of flack for this. At least Larry agrees.
Yeah. Lamar Jackson, 16 to 1.
B.
I mean, I'm biased, but I kind of think Lamar Jackson's an A-tier bet at 16 to 1.
I just think teams are used to seeing him now. They know how to defend him to some extent. It's not, hey, we're completely caught off guard.
It's 16 to 1.
Yeah.
He just needs to have it's like saying in his entire career, will Lamar Jackson win another MVP? If he played until he was like 38, does he win another MVP?
He can't take those hits.
But if he did, would he?
I don't know.
Because, I mean, you're looking at... I mean, it's kind of like the same thing. I mean, I think that's a... Well, yeah, he won't play till he's 38. I doubt that. But it's like if he plays 16 more years, does he win another MVP?
He has a window. So I think that's fair to say B. Also, Ravens have an extremely tough schedule, too, for what it's worth.
I think this should be an A.
B's fair.
We're like almost halfway done, and you have not wanted to put a single player, even an A, let alone S.
Well, we haven't got to the good ones yet.
We have so many good ones. There's no way. I feel even more strongly about Jackson than Herbert. Like why would Herbert be a borderline A at basically the same price as a guy who's already won it? Who is not significantly older.
I just think that teams are scheming for Jackson.
Also, he's got like actual wide receivers this year.
I guess I could see an A for Jackson. Okay, I can do an A for Jackson.
Thank you. Larry's screaming for Josh Allen to be an A. I don't want to move anybody around until we're done.
Yeah,
but Josh Allen is a prime candidate to move up to A.
Yeah, it's like the teacher. Can you round my grade up? The student says.
Mm-hmm. All right. So next up we have Daniel Jones at 100 to 1. I think you know where I want this.
Yeah, so that's why I think I'm gonna say
A. I think in the same way that I was on the record last year about Josh Allen, Daniel Jones is going to break out in a big, big, big way this year. I think Daniel Jones at 100 to 1 is probably my favorite of the dark horse MVP bets by a mile.
I think it's my favorite too.
I want to put Daniel Jones at 100 to 1 at an S tier.
I'm actually down for S because at 100 to 1, that's pretty wild to me that he's at 100 to 1.
We're going to get so much flack on this for Twitter, by the way.
Yeah, that's fine.
So do we move him down to like an A or something to avoid angry people on Twitter?
No. I think if we feel, I mean, I originally said A because
Larry says C. Larry's not buying into the hype.
but see, Larry, if
There is no hype.
he's 50-1, then he's burning your money. I go with A.
We'll go A.
Yeah, I say A, just from the standpoint that I like what I've seen from him at times, the glimpses, but he's yet to.
But I mean, that's the whole point, right? That's the point with all these things, right? If you wait for the polished product, you don't get them at the good price.
Yeah, that's true. Except the problem, though, is can he do that for like 3 games straight? I haven't seen that either. Saquon Barkley, that's a solid piece.
Yeah, and I think that division as a whole is a good spot to target because there's so much room for improvement from all of those teams.
Yeah.
That, like, if one of the teams just cranks it up a little bit for whatever reason, there's going to be like a 12-5, 13-4 team in there.
Mm-hmm.
And if that's the case, their quarterback is an MVP favorite.
I like A.
We'll go with A. I'm consistently unhappy with how conservative you're being about these.
We just haven't got to the good ones yet.
We're halfway done.
Well, we went alphabetically, so.
Okay, Mac Jones.
No, this isn't.
Can I just put this in burning your money and go to the next one?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, Trey Lance. Can I just put this in burning your money and go to the next one? Okay, Trevor Lawrence.
Ooh.
At 80-1.
Not burning the hair,
Okay.
but I'm thinking C+, C.
Okay. How are you going to make arguments against all these guys? Like, oh, we haven't seen them do it. And then argue for Trevor Lawrence.
Did you not watch college last year?
Did you not watch literally all these guys play in college?
I did.
They were all good in college.
But Trevor Lawrence is on another level. You ask the scouts. We've never seen anything like him before. His hair, the way it flows.
Yeah, Trevor Lawrence, if we were grading NFL quarterbacks by their hair, he would be an S tier 1,000%.
100%.
He's probably like the only player above C tier.
Okay, so real quick. Of all these rookies,
He's definitely the best one.
yeah, and he's 100% the starter.
Yeah, talent-wise, he's the best one. Playing time-wise, he's the best one. Value-wise, for this MVP bet, he's the best one. Yeah. I still don't think he's higher than a C.
Yeah, a C is fine. Because he's still in the Jags. So.
Yeah. And again, so Larry, I don't think you were here when I said this. There's only been, in the last 20 years, 2 rookies who have ever even received votes for MVP. And that was Dak Prescott and Ezekiel Elliott, both in 2016. For all of the great rookies we've ever had, those are the only 2 who even got votes. Patrick Mahomes at 9-2, 4.5-1.
This is a tough one. I'm thinking A, B.
I agree.
Because he's Mahomes, right?
Yeah, he's probably the best quarterback in the league.
But at plus 450, more or less. This,
yeah, it's a little steep.
yeah. I'm fine with either.
I'm fine with either. I think Mahomes, if we were just grading this on where we think the odds should be, he's obviously at the top of the S tier.
Oh, totally.
I think at plus 450 though. Like just compare him. So at plus 450, you're looking at 1 out of every 4.5 years. Mm-hmm. Is that more likely than Lamar Jackson doing it 1 out of every 16? That's like 4 times as often.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
It's a tough one. You can make an argument for either, but
Where do you want it, Ben?
let's go B.
All right, Baker Mayfield at 25-1. Yeah, not a great value, but I think not a great value, but makes Patrick Mahomes the perfect like B plus
Yeah.
type of thing. Baker Mayfield. I'm curious what your thoughts on Mayfield are. I see you smiling. I can tell you want to put this in S tier already.
No, it's just funny because the Browns, they're just such a unique team. But can I actually put Baker Mayfield in S tier?
No.
No.
Okay, so can you explain why you wanted Lamar Jackson in B, but Baker Mayfield in S at the price difference that they're at?
I mean, Baker Mayfield's a stud, man. Wait, you don't think he should be an A?
I think Baker Mayfield is fine for A, but you wanted Lamar Jackson at B.
Yeah, I said like B plus.
Why is the guy who's younger and has already won the MVP and is on the better team? Why do you want him lower than the guy who's just not as good in like all of those facets? And it's no disrespect to Baker Mayfield. I love Baker Mayfield. I think he's a great quarterback.
16-1.
Yeah, but that's not a huge difference.
I'm on the fence. I never actually considered him being an S. It was always A or B.
Okay, I'm happy for an A tier for Mayfield.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Christian McCaffrey at 100-1.
This is an interesting one.
I think probably a high C, maybe low B.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. 100-1.
I mean, I think that him and Henry are the only two who could reasonably
Yeah, I'm fine with the C.
do it. I mean, I do think 100-1 is probably right about the right price for McCaffrey.
Yeah.
Like, again, we've already seen McCaffrey have one of the best seasons a running back has ever had. And he didn't even finish second in the MVP.
Mm-hmm.
Kyler Murray, 12-1.
I'm thinking BC.
Yeah, I think 12-1 is a really steep price for Murray. I mean, just make the comparison to Josh Allen at the same price. I think Allen's got to be in a higher tier.
Yeah. Yeah, and also, yeah, I think Murray's going to succeed, but is he going to have a breakout year? I don't know.
Yeah. So the one thing about Murray is, yeah, I think he's a C. I think it's just a little bit too expensive. It's clearly not burning the money away because he does have a really realistic shot, especially in the Kingsbury offense. I mean, Cardinals certainly have a shot to be that highest scoring offense in the league that so often wins MVPs. But 12-1 is just eh.
Yeah.
I think at 20-1 we're looking B. Yeah. If he's priced like Mayfield at 25, we're looking at like B plus, A minus type deal. I think.
Mm-hmm.
Cam Newton, 100-1.
You know what? Actually, I don't know. I was thinking C, but
I'm thinking C for Newton also. I don't want to put it. I know like, oh, Cam Newton's washed. He has no arm anymore. All the memes about him. But at the same time, is there that shot that he pieces everything back together? Yeah. I think 100 to 1 is a reasonable price. Mm-hmm. I think a C is where that should be. Dak Prescott at 20 to 1.
you're gonna hate this.
You want to put Prescott in S tier?
I do. But I'm open to an A. What are your thoughts, Nick?
I'm thinking. So I think that this is a pretty good number to get Dak at. I think it's a solid A bet.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, honestly, I'd be happy if our S tier was all of the starting quarterbacks in the NFC East under 40 years old.
Well, we can always go back, but
yeah, I think that this is a good bet.
yeah.
So there is just the injury issue. Like, is he gonna come back? I forget who it was. Oh, Joe Burrow, but you were holding that against Joe Burrow pretty heavily.
I was.
And it's it's both leg injuries.
I think it's more so he only had 6 games under his belt?
Burrow? Something like that, yeah.
More. So I think that had something to do with it.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, we know that Dak can sustain that MVP level play.
I guess he had 10 games, Burrow did. 2-7, but
I mean, it was probably the toughest division to be the 4th best team in.
Yeah.
Last year.
Yeah, so I'm cool with an S.
Oh, are you? You know, I'm cool with an S for Dak also.
Yeah. He's going to have one of the best core receiving guys.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the receivers are good. The offensive line should be good.
Yeah,
running back is good. If we're looking at teams, if you said 20 to 1 for the Cowboys to be the highest scoring offense in the league,
I'll take that.
I'd say that's a great bet.
Yeah, I'll take that.
And then knowing how highly that correlates with quarterbacks winning the MVP.
We got an S, baby.
Yeah. Aaron Rodgers, 10 to 1.
This is a tricky one.
Well, is he going to play for the Broncos next year? We can finally stop talking about that.
Yeah, finally. I'm thinking B.
I think at 10 to 1.
Yeah. What do you think?
I'm thinking, yeah, I think a B. I was thinking C, but
Yeah.
so the NFL does not like to do back-to-back MVPs.
Yeah, they don't.
That's the one thing.
NBA will.
So the only guy who's won back-to-back MVP in the last 20 years is Peyton Manning, who did back-to-back twice. But I mean, I think Rodgers. I'm not gonna. I don't think it would be realistic to put Rodgers at C. I think that's silly. I think B's good. Ben Roethlisberger, the only guy whose name did not fit onto 2 lines. Ben Roethlisberger.
Man,
100 to 1.
I kind of want to burn the money.
I don't think Roethlisberger's a money burner.
Yeah,
I think he's a quarterback with job security. I mean, I think that at least puts him in like the Sam Darnold tier.
Yeah, I'll put him in C.
I think he belongs with Cam Newton. Matt Ryan,
Oh,
50 to 1.
for this.
What's your take on Matt Ryan?
I think there's great value
I agree.
because honestly, the Falcons weren't as bad as everyone made them out to be. They just had a few games where they lost after being up by a few scores, but Kyle Pitts, man, that's a great draft.
Okay, I don't even start about Kyle Pitts
Why?
because Kyle Pitts is not worth it. Kyle Pitts is the Obi Toppin of the NFL draft.
That's
You heard it here first.
That's will Kyle Pitts have 1,000 yards?
No, absolutely not. No. We went over this when we talked about the NFL draft. The best tight end prospect of all time surpassed expectations and still was not worth the pick.
Yeah, but he's not even like a traditional tight end. He plays more as a wide receiver.
Yeah, but then if you consider him a wide receiver, and he's not a tight end, if he's just a wide receiver, then still no.
Anyways, I still give Matt Ryan an A.
Yeah, I think Matt Ryan deserves an A.
50 to 1.
Yeah, 50 to 1 in an offense that loves to. I probably will still love to throw the ball. I think Ryan is like a low end A at 50 to 1. Matt Stafford at 14 to 1. I like this one.
I feel like I could make a case for A, B, or C,
Yeah.
but I'm all over the place with him.
Yeah, I think if we're looking at like 20, 25 to 1, I think he's an A. I think this is a pretty fair B, in my opinion.
B for sure for me.
All right. Tua.
I'm thinking C.
I agree. I think Tua is a C.
Isn't really-
I think Tua is a terrible quarterback.
40 to 1 on Tua.
Yeah, 40 to 1 on Tua. I'm not moving Tua up from C.
Yeah.
I hate Tua. I got into a big argument with Aaron a couple months ago
Oh. About
on Tua. I'm sure I could go find it, but Tua had like some of the worst and most timid passing, like the most timid passing season and inefficient passing season of like any quarterback ever, or at least going back like 20 years. In terms of just not throwing the ball down the field. It was just absolutely atrocious. And if you watched any Dolphins last year, like a lot of these guys, these younger guys who were inconsistent, you see the glimpses. There was just no glimpses with Tua.
yeah, and his defense really carried him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
I'm done with him too, Larry. Let's talk about Ryan Tannehill.
Ryan Tannehill, 25 to 1.
How is he 25 to 1? I don't think that's good value at all.
No, I don't think it is either.
He's a C.
I agree. I mean, you compare him to the other guys in that range, like Baker Mayfield. It's an easy C tier, I think.
That's weird. Need to ask John about that one.
Deshaun Watson, 40 to 1.
He just had to sneak in here, didn't he?
I think that's the money burning.
Does he even play a game? So,
I think, yeah, money burning.
Put it there.
TJ Watt at 100 to 1. This is another money burner.
Yeah, we're gonna have to burn the money.
Carson Wentz at 25 to 1.
Oh man. You would get so mad if I was like S for Carson Wentz.
I mean, I wouldn't believe you. I would think you were trolling me if you said S tier for Carson Wentz at
not
25 to 1.
S. But I do find a little bit of value with him. I'm thinking B.
I was thinking C for Carson Wentz. It's like a high C, but I think
I'll make a case. Here's my case.
Okay.
My case is that, okay, actually, let me start with this. Here's your case, the injuries. He's only played, I think, 1 season in full.
Well, it's not even just the injuries, but keep going.
But he has definitely shown glimpses. That's for sure.
Yeah, well, he if he didn't get hurt, he probably would have been the MVP.
Yeah. And he's going to have a top 5 offensive line. He has weapons. 25-1. I think I could make a case for B. Tannehill at 25-1 and him, but I know you said high B, or high C. Sorry.
Yeah. So the thing with Wentz that I think that makes him a little bit fundamentally different from Burrow and Prescott, the other 2 quarterbacks with kind of injury concerns here. I kind of think of him like Jimmy Garoppolo, in a sense. It's like a better version of Garoppolo, which is why he's 25-1. But it's not like he's coming off of injury and there's some uncertainty. He's like coming off of injury and then sucked. Mm-hmm. It's like Cam Newton. It's not like Dak. I don't think that there's value in it at 25-1. Yeah. I think if I were to price Wentz, I'd probably put him at like 40-1. I think that's like a fair price for Wentz.
I still like B. But I'm fine with the C. If you want to put him at C.
Let's put it at C. And we're going to go back. I think that there's going to be a lot of moving parts here. Yeah. At the end when we recap. Russell Wilson at 20-1.
B plus.
Yeah, I think that's a solid B.
Yeah. He's so consistent. He's always going to be up there, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. And he's never won one. Mm-hmm. Like if he has his best season and Seattle plays really well, which is totally within the realm of possibility, I mean he could easily win. I think Wilson is a solid at 20-1, solid B. Zach Wilson. So there's 37 players on this list who are currently under contract.
Zach Wilson is the one who's not?
Correct.
Well, that's because he looks like an Olive Garden server.
I think Zach Wilson, beyond just being a rookie, playing for the Jets is not good. The fact that he's not in training camp because he's still holding out is not good. I think Wilson, no shot.
Grab legs.
Jameis Winston also, I think at 60-1, is a bad play. He's just if nothing else, I think that, I mean, Winston's just not going to get enough playing time because it seems pretty likely at this point that Taysom Hill is going to be the guy to start.
Yeah.
And if Winston plays, even if he starts 12 games, he's not going to win MVP, even if he plays great. Mm-hmm. All right. So time for some moving parts. Because I know I have some guys that I wasn't happy with. I'm sure you've got some guys that you're not happy with. I think that we've got some guys that we placed early on that we might want to reconsider as well. But as it stands right now, the S tier is Dak Prescott at 20-1. The A tier, we have Lamar Jackson at 16-1. Daniel Jones as our top long shot at 100-1. Baker Mayfield at 25-1, and Matt Ryan at 50-1. Bunch of guys in B, a bunch of guys in C, and a bunch of guys that you should not bet on at all. So, from the S tier, I'm happy to keep Dak there. Mm-hmm. In the A tier, we have Lamar Jackson, Daniel Jones, Baker Mayfield, and Matt Ryan. I think I'm happy with Mayfield for sure in A. I'm happy with Ryan for sure in A. Both of the other guys I'd be happy to move up. I'm not gonna go on for 10 minutes about why I think they should move up.
Yeah. The only one who I would move up is Daniel Jones. At that number. I mean, Danny Dimes, 100-1.
We'll keep it under consideration.
Okay.
Because we are going to get clowned on Twitter if we have Daniel Jones. I think that's the only reason we didn't put him up there to start.
Yeah, that's in the back of our heads. All right, let's talk about Josh Allen.
Yeah, I'd like to move Allen up to A.
I'm fine with that. And I'm super close to moving Justin Herbert up. But then I think naturally we'd have to move Hurts up too.
Yeah.
So I am actually fine with that, leaving them at B.
Larry, Allen is at 12-1.
Anything else here?
I mean, I want to move Hurts up.
Yeah, I don't think I can get down with that. I think B is perfect for him. B is not bad. I got B's all throughout college.
I mean, B's
exceeded expectations.
B's get degrees.
That's true.
And C's get degrees.
And burning your money, it does not.
I mean, burning your money is your degree.
Yeah.
So burning your money does get you a degree, right? From that perspective.
Mm-hmm. Anything else in B?
So I am thinking about moving Derrick Henry down to C. I think that him and McCaffrey should be in the same tier.
Okay, so interesting you say that because I could make the case for moving up Christian McCaffrey to B.
Yeah.
I mean, he gets so many looks and touches. And he's 100-1.
Yeah, so the thing that I don't like about this B tier, just as a whole, or like all of this, is that Daniel Jones is the only quarterback better than 60-1 in A, B, or C.
So what do you
I don't know. I guess that's not a problem.
It's not really a problem.
No, it's not a problem.
I mean, I feel like naturally a lot of these guys just get put at 100-1 out of principle.
Yeah.
Could be wrong about that, but it makes sense.
Okay.
Also, I just want to point something out. So Christian McCaffrey, 2019, had 1,300 rushing yards, 1,000 receiving yards.
And Lamar Jackson was the unanimous MVP.
Yeah. Did he get votes?
No, Lamar Jackson was the unanimous MVP.
Unanimous. That's right.
They only give out first place votes.
He was in consideration, though, right?
No, Lamar Jackson was the unanimous MVP. There's 50 players. There's 50 people who get votes. They only vote for first place. And everybody voted for Lamar Jackson. It's the only time that's ever happened. I'm pretty sure.
Well, I think for that, he should get a B. That makes sense.
Yeah, so I'm really up in the air on McCaffrey.
100 to 1.
So what would you price running back to win, any running back or any non-quarterback to win MVP at?
Highest is 50 to 1.
Well, seriously, let's try and do that do this a little sharply, sharper.
I think Christian McCaffrey like 75 to 1.
So Larry, McCaffrey's at 100 to 1. Derrick Henry, the other back we're talking about, is at 80 to 1. So any running back or any non-quarterback to win the MVP, I would probably, in this day and age, is probably 25 to 1. I would say.
You know what? I did not take into consideration the Panthers as a team. So they have to make the playoffs. 7.5 wins is their number. I mean, I'm okay with the C.
Yeah, so I'm not worried about the numbers because we don't care about the average season. We care about like the high-end upside season. Right, they're not going to go 7.5 wins 100 out of 100 times. There's a distribution there.
True, but
like that would be impossible if they did.
You also though have to consider the likelihood of them.
Yeah, but I mean, like if the Panthers would have played the season 100 times, they certainly make the playoffs. I mean, what are they to make the playoffs? No, it's not twice.
How many times then?
Every team makes the playoffs at least 5 times.
Not
if you play the season 100 times.
Not the time.
Well, no, because in 5 of those 100 universes, Deshaun Watson's charges are dropped.
One time. One of those years, Deshaun Watson comes back.
Yeah, or like there's injuries to other teams every now and then. Those kinds of things.
All right. Well,
I mean, the Panthers probably hit 12 wins 10 to 15 times out of 100.
Now you're making a case for B.
I'm thinking about it. I'm thinking about it real hard. So I think I would probably price any running back to win the MVP this year at 30 to 1.
Oh, you're saying any running back 30
Yeah,
to 1?
any running back to win MVP as a bet. I probably go 30 to 1.
I'd even go 40 to 1.
I was thinking that, but I think it's just like too high.
Yeah, and
Like
I guess 2 of the candidates. I mean, Henry could just go for 2,000 yards.
Yeah, but he's done that and not won.
That's true. That is very true.
So if we knew that a running back were to win MVP, like it's a guarantee that a running back is going to win MVP, what do you price Henry at?
So you're saying say that one more time.
So it's a guarantee. They've stopped awarding the MVP to positions that are not running back. What would you price Henry at?
Got to be like plus 100, right?
No, it can't be plus 100
Why not?
because he's got like the same price as McCaffrey.
Oh,
You can't price.
No, I'm literally saying if it's only running backs, he's 1 to 1. Like his odds. Does that make sense? He would have a 50% chance to win it as a running back versus every other running back in the league.
I think that there's absolutely no shot that that's the case.
Who else is going to come close? McCaffrey, that's it.
Well, I mean, you just have to factor in injuries if nothing else, right? Like there's a what percent chance that he gets an injury and misses a couple games?
Yeah, that's true.
20, 30, 40, 50% chance.
There's a reason why there's no other running backs on this list besides these 2.
So I mean, if you think that Henry is even money, or wait, let's just think of it this way. So who's going to win running back of the year? I'm sure that's an award that somebody gives out.
Henry.
You price Henry at even money. You take Henry or the field, and you take Henry.
Absolutely.
I think that's insane.
Who else are you going to take?
The field.
every other Tennessee's one of the only teams that doesn't have a running back by committee.
Yeah, but I just think that the injuries make that ridiculous.
Every other team is already at a huge disadvantage from how they're splitting.
I 1,000% agree. Henry is the best back in the best situation.
Yep.
But even if you think that there's a 30% chance that he gets hurt at some point and misses 3 games or whatever, he's already like out of contention.
Mm-hmm. Well, and that's why I'm just saying how they could price it. And give
Yeah, I think you're probably looking at.
If you ask
I would between 5 to 1 and 8 to 1.
I would put it
on
at
that.
like 10 to 1. But I thought you were asking me like what the books would put it at.
No, what would you put it at
Oh, I'd put it at like 10 to 1.
for Henry in this argument?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So if you're looking at it that way, so if Henry is 10 to 1 to be the best back, and any back is 30 to 1, you're looking at plus 300 for Henry, or 300 to 1 for Henry's MVP odds. So we're probably underpricing any running back to win MVP. But I mean, even if we put that at 10 to 1, and which I think that's a little high. If we put it at 15 to 1, then you're looking for 150 to 1 for Henry for MVP odds. So I think that Henry at B is maybe a little high. I don't know. Dalvin Cook's not in the conversation because he was at plus 200 or plus 300, or 200 to 1 or 300 to 1 on Superbook. I just took nobody commented to put anybody else on here. So I just took everybody 100 to 1 or better.
Also, what was Ezekiel Elliott at?
300 to 1.
300?
Yeah, because I think Zeke is probably my favorite running back bet out of all these.
That's actually
out of everybody.
crazy that Zeke's that high.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's silly.
Yeah.
Just compared to Henry and McCaffrey.
I mean, we could probably just stick him in here if we wanted. Right?
No, I'd have to remake the list.
Oh, it's cheating.
It's just a lot of time and bad content.
We'll just put a little chipmunk.
Mm-hmm.
I always think he looks like a chipmunk, but he would run your ass over.
Yes,
Imagine seeing at the park like a chipmunk. Oh my god, that. Whoa, what are you looking at, man? Pooh, truck stick. Pooh.
Okay, so.
Anyways, I'm fine with flip-flopping because
I don't want to flip-flop them. I think that they should be in the same tier. It's just, is it a B or is it a C? It should be in an in-between tier.
It's B. Put it in B. Also, one point of feedback we got from these lists is people read them as in we're ordering them within the tier also.
Yeah, so we can go through and do that actually when we have everybody in their correct tier.
Okay. So we're on C.
Any other Bs that we want to move?
No.
I'm just going to read them out for Larry real quick because he can't see. We have Kirk Cousins at 60 to 1, Henry at 80 to 1, Justin Herbert 20 to 1, Jalen Hurts 40 to 1, Patrick Mahomes at 9 to 2, Christian McCaffrey 100 to 1, Aaron Rodgers at 10 to 1, Matt Stafford at 14 to 1, and Russell Wilson at 20 to 1 is our B tier. So in C, we have Tom Brady at 14 to 1, Joe Burrow at 80 to 1, Derek Carr at 60 to 1. Also, I want to move Burrow up. Sam Darnold at 100 to 1, Jimmy Garoppolo at 100 to 1, Trevor Lawrence at 80 to 1, Kyler Murray at 12 to 1, Cam Newton 100 to 1, Ben Roethlisberger 100 to 1, Tua Tagovailoa 40 to 1, Ryan Tannehill 25 to 1, Carson Wentz 25 to 1.
Alrighty.
So I think that Joe Burrow is a better bet than any of the running backs.
Yeah, I could see Joe Burrow going up, but then it's just the thing with the Bengals, right? Like,
So I mean, what's more likely, that Derrick Henry or Christian McCaffrey have the best season a running back has ever had, or that Joe Burrow plays like one of the top 3 quarterbacks in the league this year? Which is more likely?
A. You're gonna play the Ravens twice, the Steelers twice, the Browns twice.
Yeah, but you have to. They have to win the MVP. The running back has to be like the best running back ever.
I think it could happen.
I mean, it could happen, of course.
Yeah.
But
I would
so
say
the running backs that have won the MVP all did crazy stuff. I mean, Adrian Peterson had the second highest rushing yardage total ever, behind, and like the highest since Eric Dickerson set the record like 30 years before. And when LaDainian Tomlinson and Sean Alexander won the MVP, they both broke the single season rushing touchdowns record. And I think that any kind of record like that, getting like barely broken by a running back this year, is going to be diminished because of the extra game. So like you need them to smash it. You need Henry to break the rushing yardage record by like 100 yards for him to have a shot.
Again, I'll go back to what I said about the Bengals. So
Yeah, but which is more likely? Is it more likely that Derrick Henry has the best season of any of the 4,000 or 5,000 running back seasons ever? Or is it more likely that Joe Burrow is a top 3 quarterback this year?
Why are we saying top 3?
Because that puts him in the MVP conversation.
Yeah, I'm staying with C on Burrow.
I think it's I don't see how you can have Henry over Burrow.
I mean, Henry was in the conversation, right? Like last year.
Yeah, but I mean, Henry had like the 4th or 5th most yards a running back has ever had, and didn't win MVP.
I mean, you'll have to break it.
Yeah, he had not just break it; he'll have to smash it,
Well, sorry.
or break it in 16 games.
I just don't see a scenario where.
What would you price Derrick Henry to break the all-time rushing record at?
50 to 1. I think that's fair.
I don't think that's fair at all.
What would you give it?
Like 300 to 1, 400 to 1, 500 to 1.
He just came off a. Oh, Nick, you forgot. We got an extra game.
Yeah, well, okay. Or to break it in 16 games.
Oh, okay.
Or to have his 17 game average break the record.
100 to 1.
100 to 1.
I mean, he's came close.
Yeah, he did come close. But I mean, it's a record that stood for like 40 years. Mm-hmm. And the league is more passing heavy than ever.
I'd rather go with Carson Wentz as a B than Joe Burrow.
I'm happy to move Wentz up.
Yeah, because
especially if we're ordering it, I'd be happy to put Wentz at a B-.
Yeah,
I'm not going to argue with that.
I'm fine with that. But Joe Burrow is going to be a high C though, so that's okay.
We can put Joe Burrow at a high C. Yeah. If we put Henry and McCaffrey as like the last 2 Bs. Mm-hmm. But I still disagree. I still think that Burrow should be higher than any of the running backs.
Yeah.
Anybody else that you want to move?
We're gonna have to put. We're gonna have to drop Henry and Christian McCaffrey down then.
I'd be fine with having those 2 as like the top 2 Cs.
Mm-hmm. I'm fine with that.
Henry and McCaffrey, like the top 2 C pluses.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm fine with that.
You can't see me, but I'm have my hands up like I'm saying a little prayer. Thank you.
Oh, you really wanted that.
I did. I really wanted it. And are we moving Burrow up or no?
No, Burrow's staying C. But he'll be the number one though. Number 1 C.
Is he above Henry and McCaffrey?
I'll put him above.
Okay.
They're literally, I think, like about the same, but alrighty.
All right. Tom Brady at 14-1, I think is should stay in C. Derek Carr 60-1, I think should stay in C. If I say anything that you disagree with, stop me. Darnold at 100-1, I think is fine in C. Garoppolo at 100-1. Lawrence at 80-1. Kyler Murray at 20-1. Cam Newton 100-1. Roethlisberger 100-1. Tua 40-1. Tannehill 25-1. I think that those are all good C's. And then the burning your money, we have Bridgewater, Donald, Fields, Fitzpatrick, Hill, Taysom Hill, Mac Jones, Trey Lance, Deshaun Watson, TJ Watt, Zach Wilson, Jameis Winston. The only one that I would remotely consider moving up is Jameis Winston. But I'm not going to.
Yeah, it seems like he just fits down there.
Yeah. So what are the odds on a running back winning the MVP? I don't know that there are odds for that. I haven't seen them if they're out there. I'd be super curious to know. I would put it at like 15-1. Oh, I think the books would offer it at 15-1. No, I think 15-1.
Let me see. I'm curious if DraftKings has it.
Yeah, just like position of MVP winner. I'm looking it up on PointsBet real quick.
For us. Yeah, I don't see it.
Can you check like an offshore, like Bovada or something?
Yeah, curious if they have it. See here.
Yeah, because I think that this really helps inform the discussion around Henry and McCaffrey, because I think that they are the two hardest ones to price on here, or the ones to figure out.
No, I don't see it.
Yeah, we should ask John.
Yeah. I do like the state of the winning Super Bowl team. That's a fun one. California plus 450.
We
Florida
can-
plus 500.
We can do that when we talk about Super Bowl odds.
Oh yeah, that's right.
All right. So let's sort these guys. Okay, is Dak Prescott really going to be the only S tier bet?
I mean, unless we want to move up our boy Danny Dimes. You know what? Matt Ryan actually can make a strong case.
I mean, I want to move up Lamar Jackson.
Oh, no, I can't. I can't do that. If Lamar Jackson was at 25-1, I would do it. Actually, even 20-1. That's how close I am.
Okay, well, so let's try and sort the A tier. So we have Allen at 12-1, Jackson at 16-1, Jones at 100-1, Mayfield at 25-1, Ryan at 50-1. So I think Allen is probably the last one in the A tier because he got moved up from B.
Yeah. Allen's last. I would say I would go Jackson, Jones, Ryan, Mayfield.
I'm down for that.
Yeah.
All right, in B tier, Cousins at 60-1, Herbert at 20-1, Hurts 40-1, Mahomes 9-2, Rodgers 10-1, Stafford 14-1, Russell Wilson 20-1, Carson Wentz 25-1.
I think Russell Wilson needs to be closer to the front.
I agree. I think Wentz closer to the back. Cousins probably also closer to the back.
Yeah.
I think
put Wentz like 3 from the back. Oh, actually, no. We just moved him.
yeah, he's like the last guy that got moved up from C.
Mahomes.
So I think that Wilson, Herbert, Hurts should be the first 3.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm an advocate of Hurts to A.
Yeah, you can put Hurts at the front.
Okay, I'm going Hurts at the front. Do you want Wilson or Herbert?
Herbert.
At the same exact price?
Yes.
Okay.
Crazy to say, but I mean that's how high I am on Justin Herbert.
Okay, and then we have the Mahomes, Rodgers, Stafford, Cousins.
I think Stafford can go ahead of Rodgers.
Okay. I like the way this looks now. So the order: Hurts, Herbert, Wilson, Mahomes, Stafford, Rodgers, Cousins, Wentz.
Yeah, Cousins. Yep.
Okay.
I'm cool with that.
C tier. We have Burrow, Henry, McCaffrey as the top 3. And then we've got a bunch of dudes. We've got Brady at 14-1, Carr at 60-1, Darnold at 100-1, Garoppolo 100-1, Lawrence 80-1, Kyler Murray at 12-1, Cam Newton 100-1, Roethlisberger 100-1, Tua 40-1, Tannehill 25-1.
Let's move up Murray.
Yeah, I was gonna say the same thing. I think Murray should be the next guy here.
Yeah.
I think Brady should be at the high end.
Yeah, Darnold I think can be next to Brady.
I think Carr should be ahead of Darnold.
Yeah, I could see those going either way.
But yeah, I mean, we're kind of splitting hairs here.
Yeah.
I think
and
that
then after this, I mean, the rest of them I'm kind of.
Yeah, so I think that Lawrence and Tua are the 2 guys who should be next. I think the other 100-1s. Oh, Tannehill also.
We could put Tannehill up a little further.
Yeah, I kind of like Tannehill between Carr and Darnold.
Yeah, we can put him up a little bit.
But yeah, I think Garoppolo, Newton, Roethlisberger are all like close to trash tier, but not quite.
Yeah. All right, I don't know how we're gonna do this one because
The trash tier.
yeah, because
I think there is no order to the trash tier. They're all trash.
Put Wilson at the end because, well, I guess should Deshaun Watson.
I think I'm just gonna leave these in alphabetical order.
See, Nick, there's this very weird part of me that says Watson should be a C, but I don't want to, because then we're gonna have to talk about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think we should just. If someone really wants to be like, why does Mac Jones have better odds than, better value than Deshaun? Whatever.
No, yeah. The
It's
burning
pretty
your
good.
money is alphabetical order.
Yeah, I think it looks pretty good.
I agree. Anybody have any points of contention? Larry is the only person talking.
Larry
Which is fine.
mentioned something about.
I think Larry is responsible for about the last 50 messages in the chat.
Larry said something about was it Allen? Oh no, well, we did move him to A. So yeah, I think it's pretty good.
Yeah, I'm happy with this. I think we're still gonna get shit for Daniel Jones, but that's okay.
That's fine.
This is gonna stir up a lot of controversy.
Yeah, I know. It really is. But hey, 100 to 1.
Hey, I mean, and you and I don't even agree.
I know. This was a tough one.
Mm-hmm. No, Larry,
actually think
we
this one's gonna be
appreciate it.
tougher than the Super Bowl odds, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Just because it's like another layer. You know, you're diving even deeper from the team to the player. So, but I will say though, this could be a little teaser on a few Super Bowl odds we do like. At least I like.
Okay, can I make one more?
What?
Can we move Lamar Jackson up to S tier?
No.
I don't like having Dak as the only S tier because he's not my favorite.
Lamar Jackson's your favorite?
I mean, I think Daniel Jones is my favorite. I think Lamar's number 2.
I said I would. All right, if you want to move Lamar to S, but he has to go behind Dak, of course.
I'll put him behind Dak.
Yeah.
I want Dak to have some company. He's gonna get lonely.
Well, you know what they say, it's very lonely at the top.
Mm-hmm. It is.
All right.
Any final words?
Nope.
Going once? Going twice? Oh, Larry, you were late. You missed our new intro. I just realized that.
Well, he's gonna have to watch the replay.
You'll have to get yeah. You can watch it in the VOD, or you can catch it next time if you want to wait. I still don't know if T Cherry was like, "Oh, this is terrible," or
He left.
yeah. He made one comment before the stream even like officially started. He said, "Who made this graphic with a crying emoji?"
If I didn't know who he was, I'd be like, "Who the hell is this guy? Who does he think he is?" All right. Well, I think I'm signing off.
Yep, I think that's it. Thank y'all, as always, for being here. Gonna do some more of these. Maybe get back on the baseball grind at some point. Who knows? I'm still not feeling it. I don't feel, especially not with the Wise 5 format. And I don't want to give out all the model picks on stream because then there's no point in subscribing. So that's kind of the dilemma from the baseball perspective.
But we are close.
Oh, what song was it? We went with Drip. We voted against you.
Alrighty. I'm out, Nick.
Alrighty.
Bye, Larry.
Bye, everyone.
See ya.
See ya.